The most challenging part about receiving a diagnosis at such a young age was feeling like my life options were going to be limited by disease. I saw patients that had suffered for decades and they were living with tardive dyskinesia. They had obesity. They looked withered and aged way earlier than their peers. And so at 18, coinciding with my high school graduation, to see that I was somehow equivalent to these people who were relegated to homelessness, being the unseen amongst us, I felt really pretty hopeless and like, gosh, here I was thinking I was going to go to chef school and achieve a lot, and suddenly I'm being told by treatment providers that I would struggle with relationships and with jobs, and that I would need a medication for the rest of my life. And that felt pretty limiting and very myopic, to say the least. I was somebody who would immediately respond in probably the most dramatic way to an antipsychotic called Depakote. I'll never forget being 18, freshly discharged from the acute care psychiatric unit, only to discover that my body was erupting in rashes and bumps and felt like I was crawling on my skin, couldn't stop writhing around. And I lived in rural Utah at the time, so the nearest psychiatric facility was about 2.5 hours away. My mom and family were puzzled. They didn't know what to do. And I didn't really have language either to explain my situation, but I just showed my mom my body and I'm like, this is not normal. Gotta figure something out. So thank goodness we were able to go to the rural internist, and that doctor was like, you're having this life-threatening rash. This is called Stevens-Johnson syndrome. And I think at that point, it really tipped my immune system into hyperdrive. And that was one and the first experience with psychotropics. And they would continue to have to try to have medications with me, but usually have poor side effects, bloating, metallic taste in my mouth, headaches, muscle pain, super flattened affect, drooling even. So those were not things that really worked in my body, nor did they really elevate my spirit or give me loads to live. And because they flattened my affect so much, I feel like I engaged in more reckless behavior because I didn't feel anything. Daily essential nutrients was recommended by Dr. Scott Shannon when he recognized that most of what was going on for me was related to gut permeability. I had 17 undiscovered food allergies, a host of autoimmune issues, and this meant my body was kind of in a state of malnutrition and inflammation. So he recommended that I start very slowly with Hardy Nutritionals Daily Essential Nutrients. I took 1 capsule a day. I took it on top of my psychotropic medication, and I was working closely with him as my prescriber to monitor side effects, and we worked to eliminate foods that were exacerbating my gut health. I noticed changes from the daily essential nutrients probably within about 4 weeks, just to start having a little more cellular energy, more pep in my step. They gave me a little more willingness to get into the kitchen and shift all the other things that I needed to shift. I want you to consider zooming out a bit and looking at the multifactorial issues that can underlie behavioral health. I was always seen as one way, when in reality, psychosis for me likely had a lot to do with my body's inability to absorb folate, an important B vitamin that drove so much with regard to neurotransmitter synthesis. So stay curious, fight the good fight, and demand better treatment and more diagnostics.